It's very cold out, so I don't know how much of this I'm actually going to be doing out here. I'm also losing daylight pretty rapidly. Okay, so I've just started Chamber of Secrets, and I'm super excited for it. Now, of course, the first chapter we get of this one is The Worst Birthday Ever. And I have to agree, it's pretty bad when you have this constant fear that your friends don't like you anymore. For someone with depression, that connects with me deeply because there's always this concern that even if there's no hint of it, and Harry's got some pretty heavy hints with not getting any mail from his friends, that something's gone wrong. So you really feel for Harry in this moment because you're like, why is this the worst birthday ever? And then you find that out. But also, this chapter acts as one of the best ways to bring you back into a series. It's always going to be difficult for the middle of a book series. Okay, they're not coming this way. Middle of a book series, book to get started and keep going while sort of reintroducing you to the world without making you bored. And I find this chapter does a fantastic way of how to do this. And it is too cold. I'm continuing this video inside. Okay, I'm back. I was losing feeling in my fingers, and even inside I'm a little cold with the weather turning right now. So once I get used to it, I should be able to vlog a little more outside before winter sets in. Yay! But right, that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about, of course, is Chamber of Secrets. And the first chapter, which is done absolutely fabulously. Like I was saying, it's very important to try and draw people back into the story. You can't just plunk them in the middle of it, because you can't actually guarantee how long it's been since they've read the previous book. Now, with a whole series out like this, there's a strong possibility, of course, that one person's gone very directly from one book to another. I haven't. I mean, like I said, there's been something of almost like a month between when I was finishing up Philosopher's Stone and when I started Chamber of Secrets. So I had the last chapter of Philosopher's Stone, but I didn't really have the whole book fresh in my mind when I started Chamber of Secrets. And that's, again, only if the entire series is out. I mean, if you legitimately read a book when it first comes out, and you have to wait until the next one comes out, which there have been cases of years. George R. R. Martin's Song of Ice and Fire had this, like, years before the most recent book came out. So you need to bring people in well, but you need to make that balance between maybe it's only been 5 minutes and maybe it's been a little longer than that, because you can't throw them back in and just expect them to remember everything important. But you also can't just heap this commentary on a person. That would be boring. So Chamber of Secrets actually does this really well, because Rowling matches almost point for point new information with the old. So you get the reflection information, but then you actually get new information, and this works really well, because it's like, remember, this is a world that we are building, and there's also new things happening in this world. And I actually went through and I made myself a list of new information versus old information, just to see how well this balanced out. Okay, so we've got some recounted information. Harry lives with the Dursleys. Again, not explicitly stated that much, but you do simply get him with the Dursleys. You get the Dursleys' description, you get his description. So we have these characters pictured in our heads. Harry is a wizard. Pretty important. Probably one of the bigger things you're going to remember from the book, but it's sort of, again, nice to just be like, because that even brings up the difference. Well, the Dursleys aren't. Harry's a wizard. The Dursleys aren't. So they're magic, and then there's non-magic folk. Harry just finished his first year at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. So this again is placing us, okay, we're heading towards the second year. We're not time skipping somewhere. No, like this is legitimately the summer after the first book ended. Harry has a lightning bolt scar, and that's connected to his parents' death and his original defeat of Voldemort. So we've got this description of him, which ends with this scar, and that helps bring in his past, that he lost his parents, and he thought it was a car crash, and then he found out he's a wizard, and he's famous because of this scar and his defeat of Voldemort. And you also, of course, get the recounting of the fact that he's faced Voldemort again and defeated him again. So we get a good chunk of information, and again, not like a blow-by-blow of the last book, because this information is a scattering of the last book and things that happened before the book. And it's not done like this happened and then this happened. We're actually having a scene. He and the Dursleys are at breakfast, and it's supposed to be Harry's birthday. The Dursleys are more concerned about this business dinner they're hosting that evening. And so we're going through this scene while getting this recounted information. And while the scene itself is happening, we're actually also getting then new information. All of Harry's magic stuff is locked in the cupboard under the stairs, and the Dursleys' dislike of magic has since increased. So this is a little bit of what we saw before. How they were like laughing at him at the platform, like, have fun finding 9 3/4. But now it's become really apparent. Harry can't say what's the magic word, which most of us know means please. Like, they flip out. So you actually get some character building here, along with this additional information. Dursleys have a big night coming up, in which Harry cannot ruin. He can't get involved in this or it's going to go really horribly. This is the scene we've got going on. But it's got to prove to be something in the long run. It's not just, oh, this happened, and then they skip like to the next day. No, this scene has got some sort of meat to it, and we want to see this dinner, and we want to see, because we know it's going to happen, how something in this goes wrong. None of Harry's friends have written to him over the summer, and he is concerned that Hogwarts was something of a dream. Now this happens, like I said, all the time in people's heads. There's always this doubt that maybe my friends don't actually like me. And we're seeing this with a character here. And you want to know why this is happening. Again, this is a way to draw you in. Because with the previous book, you're just like, they're friends. They went on this big epic adventure together, and in the end they still seem to be friends. It wasn't like either Ron or Hermione didn't want to hang out with Harry because they were in danger. No, they were still friends. So what's gone wrong in this intervening period that communication stopped? Like, it gets us curious. It gets us wanting to get involved, especially then, about the fact that there's somebody else or something else. We have the eyes in the bushes. And, of course, the last line of the chapter is that he went to fall on his bed and there was somebody already there. Like, it gives us information that makes us want to know more. Like, what do you mean Ron and Hermione haven't been talking to him? And who owns these eyes in the bush? Like, who is on the bed? Like, it makes you want to keep reading. And that is a really good way to start a story, because it's like, here's the world we're at, and here's how it keeps going. And it's two hands forward. It's take both of these together. And that's usually enough that you're not confused, but you're not bored out of your mind. Now, the other little piece of new information that I found very interesting, and that is going to loop sort of through this entire series, even though it doesn't seem really important now, and I in fact almost missed it even with this read through, is Harry is having nightmares of Voldemort. And spoiler alert, if you haven't read the series, those nightmares are going to become very important, and they're going to be connected to his visions. It's starting now. In the very start of the second book. And again, this is considered, again, one of the lighter books. But Rowling knows what she's doing, and she's building up these problems the character is going to face even from the beginning. And I find that so cool. Okay, so we've officially started Chamber of Secrets, and of course we've got quite a bit to go on through, so I'm going to keep reading. And I hope you guys keep reading, and I will see you on the other side. Have a good one.